So as usual, any and everything we discussed is for informational and educational purposes only. There's a plethora of posts that I wanted to make. However, the mind and the body sometimes need some time to realign. And I'm feeling my migraines, they started knocking at the door, and then the muscle aches, which you don't have to be a veteran to be feeling that, but a lot of us vets feel on a recurring basis. No matter how much treatment we're receiving, there's just some things that the body's going to have to, endure and go through. So for all my veterans out there who might be feeling a little bit of extra anxiety or tension around these times, I hear you. And part of it is, from the external, but a lot of it too is from the internal. Especially if you're certain climates where things are just very, like the precipitation, all of that is very intense, right? The cold weather, our joints and our bodies ache, our, nice pulsing moments right there. And also, those who may be in the LA wildfires, which I'm going to touch on shortly, please take good care of yourselves. Make sure you mask up, make sure you protect what is coming into your system. Many of us we've served have already ingested a lot of toxic fumes. So adding more toxic fumes now, definitely not beneficial to our well-being. So however best you can do it, mask up, put a baklava on, do things to minimize your intake, and also make sure you reinforce your immune system from within, whether it be elderberries, which you can purchase and then use, boil or create elderberry syrup, echinacea golden seal. Look into those herbs and look into those resources to help reinforce your system. I know that's easier said than done, especially if you're impacted directly by the wildfires, because you may not have a place to do all of that. But whatever you can do. And maybe you link up with someone whose home was not as badly impacted, and then you guys get together and apply those resources. Just food for thought. At the end of the day, protect your mental, spiritual, as well as your physical being in whatever means you can, however best you can. Okay, so in regards to the LA wildfires, just want to say thank you to all of the firefighters, first responders who are out there supporting those impacted by the LA wildfires. Thank you to Mexico, Canada, and all other countries who are donating their manpower, their labor to helping and supporting those impacted by the LA wildfires. Also, thank you to the prisoners who are barely, I think they're getting paid like $5 a day or something, to also provide firefighting support in terms of the LA wildfires. There's a very informative clip by Democracy Now! If you get a chance, please check it out. It addresses what's going on with the LA wildfires, the different communities impacted, and how those different communities, based on their resources, based on their makeup, right, especially the minority neighborhoods like Altadena, how their the resources or the lack thereof that's being allocated towards them getting, support, and also even coming out of this, being able to rebuild. Because obviously many folks, now that goes across the board, it's not just minority neighborhoods, but a lot of folks in different neighborhoods were not insured, or if they were insured, they weren't insured for fire protection. So they're having to figure out what to do. But in the meantime, there's a lot of predators already out there scavenging and targeting, especially those in minority neighborhoods, to sell quickly. A lot of that, folks, there's a going thought that maybe this goes towards this whole manifestation of the smart city that's supposed to be projected for LA on or about the years 2028, 2030. But regardless, they're getting targeted. So hopefully a lot of our Black celebrities who have a platform, who have means and abilities, will really highlight the minority neighborhoods that were impacted and are being impacted by the LA wildfires, and offer either, their voices, their platforms, and also support in terms of legal representation, so that those communities don't get taken advantage of, and the scavengers who are looking at gentrifying are met with resistance, okay? Because those who are financially able to recover and or rebuild are also employing their legal resources to ensure that insurance companies don't stiff them. So that really should go across the board. So by all means, I'm hoping that those who are in a celebrity platform and have those resources are going to really support those minority neighborhoods that need that type of leverage, okay? Now, Mississippi Valley State University, the marching band is scheduled to perform at the inauguration. Okay, and there's been a lot of discussion in terms of, whether they should attend, they should not attend. They're getting the opportunity to perform on world stage, etc. Listen, not here. There's understanding on both ends of the issue. My main thing that I really want to chime in on the discourse is for the administration of Mississippi Valley State University to make sure that there's adequate security for the student body and the staff attending this inauguration. All right, because be mindful, there's a 18 January march scheduled, as well as a 19 January march scheduled, and those are opposing ideologies, right? And without a doubt, the melanated folks planning to be in attendance, to include Mississippi Valley State University, are going to be targets. Okay, so whatever funding you raise through the GoFundMe and whatever resources, please make sure that a percentage of that funding is allocated towards the security of the personnel. Now, to the staff and the student body attending, please make sure that you are always in pairs of 2 or more, just like the military have battle buddies, and one or both of you have a recording device on your person, so that you make sure you're recording your journeys wherever you're going to and fro. Okay, your journey to there while attending, and on your journey return home safely to your campus. Please make sure yes, there will be Secret Service, yes, there'll be security, but understand that security and Secret Service, their main priority is not you. Okay, it's not you. It's a different entity. So you need to have personal security, and even those, the law enforcement, some of them believe in the certain ideology being presented. So again, their priority most likely is not going to be you. Okay, that's not to say that that's across the board, but it's better you have that security, your own personal security, whose interests are to protect you, the student body, and the staff attending. Better you have that and not need it than need it and not have it. In addition to that, like I said, whether it be staff or student body, make sure you travel in pairs at all times. Please do not take for granted that there's some level of protection because you'll be performing at the inauguration. Protect yourselves and travel safely and get back home safely. Also, check out author Octavia Butler if you haven't already done so. Definitely her works should be added to our Black history. She has several works, so both on Audible as well as on Kindle, so you don't necessarily need the paper, the actual hard copy, but definitely should be added to our historical educational bank for not just our generations and previous generations who may not be familiar with her works, but also generations to come, our younger generation. Last but not least, as you all can tell, my migraine is kicking my butt, so I'm determined to get this information out as quickly as I can. Parents of school-age children, especially this week, especially even our neurodivergent community, autistic, special needs, please, if you can, work in community with like-minded community members, and keep your kids out of school, out of harm's way, especially towards the latter part of this week and entering to next week. Doesn't mean anything's going to happen, but better to be safe and and have the opportunity to catch one's breath than not. Security not for yourselves, for your school-age children, as well as for the elderly. Support our elderly in whatever needs they may have so that they don't have to veer out too much and put themselves in possible harm's way or in possible ways of friction. Please give that consideration, and in all things be safe, be sound. As above, so below. Stay blessed.